Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about WordPress. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, can you bridge the gap between being a bridge the gap of getting your first serious software development job through freelancing? I am currently a freelancer and I freelance to get experience to get a job. I'm doing WordPress building themes and plugins and applying to WordPress jobs. So this was posted on the video a video I made, which was called "With So Many People Learning How to Code, why is there such a shortage of software developers?" And basically, as I explained in that video, a lot of people who want to become programmers have and I understand that. I mean, I had the same worry. I mean, I remember how nervous I was when I was going to get my first job. You don't really know how much is required of you in order to do this software development thing, because it's not a cookie cutter thing, such as an example would be if you want to be a policeman or something like that. Well, then you go to school, you get your education, and then for the most part it's going to be a done deal. It's the same thing with becoming a doctor, like there's a medical license. I mean, these things are of course difficult as well. It's more well defined when you're done, quote unquote. Software developers don't really have that. It's really hard to tell when you're done. So that's why I tell people that usually well, this ignorance or non-understanding of what is required of you, or well, that's the thing that's going to get you. That's why there are so many people who don't really get into the industry, because you simply don't have the necessary skill level. And the other part is, of course, on the other side, you have companies. You have companies who don't know what is required, because I like to make the analogy that software development, or being a software developer, is basically like being a wizard. You don't do magic. You put in zeros and ones into a computer, but it's the closest thing to magic we have at this point. It's so arcane and complicated that most normal people don't understand how it works. You have to be a wizard to understand how it works, and that creates a problem, because if you're going to hire a bunch of wizards, how do you know if they're good at the magic? It's hard. So, so you doing freelancing work is absolutely a way for you to bridge that gap, because most of the time it's really about you having relevant skills within whatever area the company you are applying to is looking for experience in. Now, I'm gonna just say this first and foremost. As I said, freelancing is professional grade software development. It is, but it's really important for you to understand that freelancing, there's different types. I mean, a freelancer can be just do the same sort of thing as anybody else. It's really down to what type of work are you doing. Now, in your specific scenario, you're talking about WordPress, and I can tell you right now, that's not going to set you up for. It's not going to prepare you for being a professional software developer, depending on what type of software developer you want to be. Doing WordPress plugins and themes and stuff of that nature is what I think most would consider low-end programming. The reason is not because it's not complicated. It is because it's very niched towards the WordPress platform. And mainstream programming, the thing that they do at the larger IT companies and that I do and my coworkers do and so forth, is much more complicated, or it requires a different set of tools and a wider range of skills within IT. Because learning just how to do WordPress stuff is going to make you a WordPress developer, but that's not what you want to be. Or well, maybe you are. That's what you want to be, because I mean, you can make a living of being a WordPress developer. There's no shame in that or something like that. It's more about expectations. It's I mean, if you want to be an architect and then you go and learn how to be lay bricks, it's I mean, sure, it's relevant, but it's not going to make you an architect. And the same thing goes with WordPress. Becoming a WordPress developer will not make you a professional software developer. Bottom line. In terms of, you know, if you're doing what the subscriber is saying, preparing to get like a real professional grade software level job and so forth, then it's fine. Any experience you have is relevant. I would recommend to you to transition as quickly as possible, though, because usually what happens with people when they get comfortable is that they get complacent, and I see this in my friends, and I mean I do it myself, of course. You get something that sort of works for you, and then you forget your end goal, and it's really easy to get stuck and stop working towards your end goal if you find something that's comfortable. As I said, there's no shame in being a WordPress developer, but you will not, and I repeat, you will not become a professional grade software developer from just working with WordPress themes and plugins. It's a very different skill set from what what a real professional software developer needs. So what I want you to take away from this is that sure, you can absolutely bridge the gap between being like a rookie or a junior or like someone who hasn't worked as a software developer before by doing freelancing work. I recommend to you that if you're going to do freelancing, it's all about, once again, same thing with consultants, same thing with anything. What are you doing? How close are the things that you are doing at your freelancing job to the thing that you want to be doing? So if you want to work at Google, or you want to work at my company, or if you want to work in any of the serious IT companies in the world, you have to practice skills that are relevant to that role. WordPress is not. On average, WordPress is not used, or like mainstream programming is not about WordPress. It's a very specific platform. The skills that you learn are sort of relevant, but they're like a really minor subset of what's going to be required for you to become like a really experienced software developer. So you can absolutely start out that way, but I urge you to transition into something that is closer. And it can be freelancing. It doesn't have, if you like freelancing, go for it. But it's really important that you practice the skills that are relevant towards mainstream programming, if that is what you want. Otherwise, it's fine to just stick with WordPress. You can make a living for I can't even imagine WordPress being irrelevant in quite some time. So if you're not really into the whole becoming a professional grade mainstream programmer, just do what feels right. Have a great day.